We are back with a full episode today, mainly about the Premier League, but this is episode 13. We haven't had a full episode in like 2 months, a month or two. So yeah, we're back. Like I said, mainly about the Premier League stuff. We got a lot of things to talk about. I'm just gonna start off with asking you both a question. That being, who is your biggest surprise team so far this season in the Premier League? Got a lot of options here.
I gotta go to the
things you
table.
can say.
To the table, I
A lot of things you could say. I'll just name off a few that people may normally pick. We got Arsenal, Newcastle, Fulham, Brentford, Chelsea's a little bit surprising where they're at. West Ham. I had to be equal.
Bud.
I had to be equal. I had to give everyone their fair
enough. I'm gonna go Newcastle.
Newcastle?
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
I'm gonna go Newcastle just because where they're at and the players, the way they're playing. Almiron specifically, playing his socks off at the moment. The whole team's playing very well. They only lost one game this season, which is ridiculous to me.
For sure.
They tied. Wait, no. They played Arsenal yesterday, right? Or was that Brighton?
They did.
Tied Arsenal, even though it was controversial, but who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I wish, like you said in the group chat, Newcastle or where I want West Ham to be.
No, I said Fulham. I said Fulham or West Ham. We'll get to those. But
yeah,
let me get Dave's answer.
But yeah, Newcastle.
And then we can go to Newcastle.
I think all the players are playing exceptionally well, and they're all in form. And when that's happening, a lot of things get good. A lot of good things can happen, and that's exactly what's happening. Now, can they maintain it for the whole season? We're about to find out.
There you go.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to say, well, Newcastle's a good pick, but I kind of want to go Fulham, to be honest, because I know plenty of people think they are that kind of yo-yo club that goes between bottoms of the Premier League and the top of the Championship, and right now they're anything but the bottom. No, you're right. They have been, but they have for the past. 3 times they've been in the Premier League that I can remember, but this year, I mean, they are good. They're good. And I feel like we're praising Brentford, rightfully so. We're praising like what was the other team? Leeds, rightfully so.
Brighton up there.
Brighton definitely, Leeds. Yeah, of course, Brighton. But the
why are we praising Leeds? They're 14th.
Leeds. I mean, I'm praising them just because of how they're. I mean, they're inconsistent, but I personally think they're better than
what their points show.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to finish higher than what we're seeing right now. But maybe not praising, but I mean, at least I like them. But back to Fulham, 7th, like that's really good. That's really, really good. Like that is the best you can be without being a top 6 club. And obviously you already said Newcastle, so. Fulham are doing extremely well, and I mean it's not just Mitrovic too. It's the entire team. Like
the whole team.
It's the entire team, and they're just a very good, well built team.
I definitely have a soft spot for them too because of their nickname in the USA is Full America, because their back line consists of Tim Ream, who's been phenomenal at his ripe old age, and Anthony Robinson at left back. So I definitely have a soft spot for them. For that, but I mean, Fulham. My pick would be Fulham too. So I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah,
but let's backtrack to Andres' Newcastle, because he's right. They did just play against Arsenal. They drew. Arsenal, like you said, it was a little maybe unfair, a little controversial. Arsenal maybe should have gotten more from it, but Newcastle are the real deal. Let's be real here. Newcastle are the real deal. Without Digger brought this up in the group chat yesterday. Without even maximizing their spending yet, they're still. I was watching another podcast the other day. They said that Newcastle are still in the Carlos Tevez to Man City part of the rebuild, and they're in 3rd place right now.
Yeah,
that is crazy. And I do want to. I'm not seeing many props given to this man, and more needs to be given. But Eddie Howe has been phenomenal as the Newcastle manager. We knew what kind of talent he had, bringing up Bournemouth through the leagues. Like, there's this little documentary on NBC like years ago that I saw about him. I loved him ever since, and he gets the job that he deserves, the opportunity that he deserves, and he is smashing it with Newcastle. Yeah, it's lovely to see. I like seeing a new team in the top six, like Newcastle. And like I said, without even that much spending, like they brought in like all they've really done is brought in like promising young players from like the French league, and that being like Botman, who's been great. They brought Bruno Guimaraes, who's been great. Kieran Trippier, who's for me their signing of the season.
Kieran Trippier has been incredible.
Dude, Kieran Trippier has never gotten the respect he deserves.
Okay, I'll be honest. As a Tottenham fan, when we had him, he had some excellent moments. His delivery, his technical ability is very good for a right back. Very good. We all know this. But his defensive concentration, lapses in concentration, could oftentimes cost you a point, which is frustrating. But then he went to Atletico Madrid, and if there's one thing Simeone does is if you start in his team, you're going to be a better defender, and that's exactly what happened to Kieran Trippier. He became a better defender, much better defender, and now Newcastle have almost a complete package. And at 32, he's a little past his prime, but he's still balling, and they have a defender with high technical quality who takes their free kicks and corners with great delivery, and who's defending absolutely wonderfully on that right side. Honestly, they got a bargain, an absolute bargain for that.
Yeah, he has like I don't want to quote the exact stat because I don't know. He was like one of the highest like expected or like goal contributions or expected goal contributions, something of that nature. Just of him getting forward as well as like sending the ball on corners and stuff like that. Which, by the way, Newcastle need him for corners because Newcastle has such a big team.
Yeah.
So corners, to have a good playmaker that puts it right in the exactly where the heads are, it's fantastic from Kieran Trippier. I don't know. It's honestly scary because what are Newcastle going to do with more spending? Like
I know.
In a couple few years, to be third right now, who knows? Maybe what if it's a fluke season? I don't think it is, but what if it's a fluke season? You know, and then we don't see that. But I think it's more likely looking like they're going to be a top 4 Champions League contender, at least Champions League, qualification contender, top 4 in the Premier League.
Fun fact: Ronaldo has a clause in his contract that he can go on loan.
He doesn't.
What?
I saw that. He doesn't. It's fake. He doesn't.
Oh, that would be funny, but I guess not. Never mind.
Well, I know they talked about the Arsenal Newcastle game. They mentioned it and they were like, "Yeah, it's been proven to be false."
Damn. Hold on. I'm looking up something.
There's no way the Saudi Arabian team would ever let him do that on a 2-year contract. If you can just leave for a year, that'd be crazy business. Crazy business. But yeah, I don't know. Newcastle is blowing us away, and we knew it was coming in a way, right? We saw the added spending. Oh, someone's home. We saw that. Oh, by the way, speaking of, I'm getting my Chelsea kit today. I told Andres this. There you go. My authentic Chelsea kit today. I'm so excited.
We out here, baby. Authentic. We out here being real.
You know, it's that Fanatic sale, baby. Let's go.
Shout out Fanatic. Sponsor us. Send us free shit, please. Thank you. I shouldn't probably say shit, huh? That's probably bad for a sponsorship.
Who cares?
No
idea. Anyway. There's no way that it's us not getting sponsorship is not going down to us saying shit. It's us not being good enough for sponsorship.
Very true.
Back to soccer. Right, back to soccer.
Football.
Yeah. Let's see. Newcastle, Fulham, Brentford have been great. Brentford has beaten Liverpool.
I think Brentford's always underestimated. I feel like they're always a solid side when they got the momentum going. So I think they are where they usually are because I feel like they finished mid-table.
I think that's fair, but they've only been doing it for a couple of years now. Like this is
like to be fair, when they broke the ranks, like when I mean the ranks, I mean the Prem, they were top class, and they did the whole retransformation because they actually had a different like structure at the club, and then I think they got new ownership, and they completely changed
Yeah,
their
new
whole
stadium
system.
too.
Yeah, I actually have a jersey of Brentford before they went
Oh,
to
yeah?
the Bees. So yeah, so props to them. And then Ivan Toney is playing amazing.
Oh,
But you
he
know
is. It's
that may all
that's
end
not gonna
very
last
soon
long.
depending
Yeah,
on
that's
the
not.
FA investigation. But he's
It's so
playing
sad.
he's playing his socks off because he's trying to get as much goals before he gets suspended. So
Before he's gone, yeah. But he's trying to what is it like? Increase
yeah,
transfer value before he goes somewhere else. Like he
oh.
goes like, isn't that why Trippier went to Atletico? Didn't he get banned for a couple years or a few years or something like that, and he had to go somewhere else?
I
The internet
do
we
not
go.
know.
I thought maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just saw that and let's see. Kevin
Put him in the office.
here.
Yeah, he was banned for
Ban?
10 weeks for breaching FA's betting rules. But
Yeah,
that was
there we
in
go.
2020.
So he just went to Spain and then came back. But um, I want to see how many breaches he had.
13.
7. Oh, he okay. 13.
6.
We'll say 13. We'll say 13. This one says 7.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. That
We'll
was
see.
the ban. That was the ban.
Okay,
13 game
so
ban.
he got for 7 breaches, right? Ivan Toney has over 230. I just want to put that in
Holy
comparison.
crap.
Yeah, there's over 230 charges. Kieran Trippier
My
got banned for
God.
10 weeks for 7 charges.
What are
Ivan
you
Toney's gonna be
betting
banned
on?
for 2 more generations. I don't know. Apparently,
What are
I
you
don't know.
betting on if it's
I don't know.
230?
So this apparently started when he was playing like lower league football, but I don't know if it's betting on himself in the games he's playing or other games. I feel like that's different. I feel like if he's bet all on other games, then it should be less punished in his games because he doesn't have control over those.
It's
Per
just
se.
like,
But
why risk it, though?
yeah,
You
I
know
mean, you're
it's
at this point.
illegal.
Yeah, yeah. So it sucks that we're probably not gonna see the Ivan Toney and Buemo partnership for much longer here.
No.
But
That's
But he's injured,
unfortunate.
too. Ivan
so
Toney got injured
sad.
against West Ham.
Oh, did he?
And yeah, they did, and that's the impressive. That's why their performance so impressive against Liverpool is because they didn't have Ivan Toney, and I don't know whoever you said. I don't know his name.
Buemo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played great, especially that
Yeah.
second goal he scored.
And
He's
Buemo does not
VAR
get
decision disallowed his other goal, and then a minute
Mhm.
later he scores
I thought he
again.
had 2. I think he had 2 disallowed goals.
I don't know. I was only watching the
Because,
first half.
yeah,
So.
he had like 2 or yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's crazy.
Respect.
But he doesn't get the respect he deserves yet.
No.
He does not. No, but Jesus Christ, but Brentford has been surprising. If we're gonna go with another surprising team, we're gonna have to talk about West Ham. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
That's fine. It had to be done eventually, then, huh?
It had to be done. And let's get out of the way, right? Let's get out of the way.
Get out of the way. Let's rip the Band-Aid.
West Ham in 17th, a place above 18th. A place
Hey,
above 18th.
if the season ended today, we're not relegated, all right? That's all I got to say.
If the season ended today, you should be very disappointed.
Yeah, well, it's not, but I'm just saying, if the season ends today, we're not relegated, so we're fine.
I said this in the group chat as well. Fulham are what West Ham fans thought West Ham would be. Sitting in 7th place, taking down these Giants.
But...
Yeah, so I think if there's any team in the
It's
league
tough.
to be disappointed with, it's West Ham. As much as you don't want to say it on just it is.
It's so disappointing.
It is. I mean,
who do you blame? Who do you blame? There's so much
I don't know.
blame to go around.
That's the thing is, who is there to blame? I don't even know who to blame at West Ham. Like, it's just everything's falling apart. It's just not working.
The fans, we got the toxic fans on Twitter saying it's Moyes out. You got certain fans saying it's the players need to take responsibility for how they're playing. And then there's me. Now it's time to say my truth of what I think is our biggest issue, and it's the players, unfortunately. I really think it's the players. I think a manager can only do so much. He can set the formation, set the tactics for the game, and then it's up to the players to play. But we were losing games because of individual mistakes. Yes, that happens in football. That's how certain goals are scored. But I mean, like, basic mistakes where someone's stepping where they shouldn't be stepping, which leaves a wide open lane for a striker to run onto, which happened against Brentford, which they scored 2 easy goals out of nothing. One off of a throw-in and another off of another throw-in. which Ivan Toney played over the top because Ogbonna he didn't step for no reason, which created a massive hole for their other striker to run in and score. So it's just defending wise, teams are easily breaking us down, which is very frustrating, and it's just individual mistakes in which Tilo Kehrer, who was a bright spot at one point in our season, he's been struggling to say the least, very much not being able to stick to his man and stand him up. Instead, he's like letting everyone turn on him, which is very frustrating. Our only bright spot in defense is Dawson at the moment. Craig Dawson, big boy Dawson is.
I feel like that says a lot too. If that's your
having
bright
a
spot in
blinder.
defense, then
Well, he's class though. Before that, like when he joined West Ham, he was class, pure class.
yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
So
he's our bright spot. And then
Yeah.
Aguirre, he's apparently supposed to be back for today for this game. So hopefully he starts.
They haven't
but I'm
released the
not
team
too
sheet
sure.
yet.
They released it in 2 minutes, so we'll
Oh.
find out. But
See, I want to bring it to the discussion of Declan Rice because I know you want to, but
oh god,
I want you to be honest. Do you want Declan Rice to leave as a Declan Rice fan, or do you more want him to stay as a West Ham fan? Because I think I'm sorry. After the season, he's gone. We know.
Oh no,
everyone knows that.
I
Everyone
have
knows he's
accepted
gone.
that. I've accepted that. I'm not in
But
denial anymore.
as a West Ham fan here,
Now
your
I am in
perspective
denial
on
he'll
it.
go to Chelsea because you guys just
Okay.
signed a midfielder for 121 million pounds. So
we
I doubt
haven't
you'll
yet for
spend
sure.
another.
We haven't yet for sure.
Oh,
He's still.
I doubt you'll spend 140 million pounds on Declan Rice. So
Right, we're not. We're probably gonna spend 70 or 80. He's not selling for 140. He's not. He's only selling for 70, 80.
upsale.
It's too late
Anyways.
now. It's too late now. Yeah. But with Chelsea, we haven't fully signed Enzo. If we do, Declan Rice is still on the radar. But if we sign both of them, that doesn't leave much money left for other places. So Declan probably. But we'll get to that. Keep going. Keep going.
I don't know. I'm not happy with Declan Rice this season. I'm really not. I think he been very disappointing as performance-wise. I think certain games he's played horrible, especially against Arsenal. I think that was probably his worst game of the season. He got bodied off by Saka. I'm sorry, but I know you guys are teammates, but bloody the difference in size between the two is ridiculous. And he got bodied off, which resulted in a goal. And then he gave a giveaway at the end of on a counter attack, and then they scored off of his giveaway. So very frustrating. And then him as a captain, I don't know if you guys
I like him as a captain.
I don't like him as a captain. I don't
leader,
think he's ready to be a captain. Like because he just anytime we're scored against, he just goes like this. His arm motions, his body language is just frustration.
He just gets
And it's
mad.
like I understand being frustrated, but as a captain, you can't show that, especially to the fans who are already mad. Now they're gonna take that as a bad thing, right?
Right.
And then so like I don't think he's like yes, in press conferences he's very well collected. He's always has been like well collected, well spoken, and never like negative. But like I don't know,
which is important for a captain, of course.
Yeah, but the thing is like on the pitch, his body language just doesn't seem good, and like at certain times he doesn't seem like he's trying to like motivate the team. You know, like be like what is it?
Yeah, the difference.
Yeah, motivational at all. And then there's other players on the pitch that like Craig Dawson. Yes, he's 30 something, but he has experience. But he's like the one trying to motivate the team. Ogbonna as well. He's been at the club. Cresswell as well. So I honestly I think Declan needs to leave for his sake of his career because we're kind of in the shitter at the moment. But I think we won't be as good without him. But I think we can replace him with the money that we get. To an extent,
That's
you
fair.
Can't replace Declan Rice. Declan Rice is Declan Rice, and I will always love Declan Rice. But
See, I feel so like I get what you're saying. I think you unintentionally highlighted the key issue with West Ham, and you're like you said, you guys like are not relying, but like on leadership level, relying on Ogbonna, Cresswell, on the veterans. But I think that's the issue is that you're relying on them. And like West Ham are trying so hard to bring new talent to the team, but they're just not doing it correctly. And you still have to rely on these veterans who are good, but you've been relying on them for 4 or 5 years now. And you've been
Cresswell against Brentford. I love Cresswell. He's done great for the club this season. I mean, he's 33, 34, still playing in the Prem. I mean, I love him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the legs anymore. And he on that second goal, I don't know if you guys saw it against Brentford, but he had 3 to 4 yards on the striker, and the striker like flew straight past him and scored.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it was like one of those things where it's like, I
maybe.
love you, but like you're not. I don't know why you're starting at certain points in the game,
Yeah.
but defending wise, he's very good, and crossing wise, he's very important for the team.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I
like
don't know
if you can like reuse it, not reuse them, but I don't say
strategically.
change him either. Like, but put him in
Emerson's
in a
class too. It's
position.
just he's so inconsistent. It's very frustrating. It's very
Yeah,
frustrating to find a consistent left or right
fullback.
back. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very hard to find one. And then
yeah,
our
that's
right
fair.
back situation is tough too because it just depends on the day who wants to play good and who wants to play shit. So
Mm.
I mean, I get you're saying it's the players, but I hate only putting blame on the manager when clubs do that because it's just such a cheap way to get out of any, you know, serious responsibilities of the players. You just kind of fire the manager and that's it.
Yeah,
But with that being said, we do see plenty of times where the club fires the manager and then a new manager comes in, and for some reason they start playing better. Maybe they stay the same.
yeah. I
Maybe
mean,
they start playing
it's
better.
just the energy, like you're energized because now you have a fresh start. All the players are like on a clean slate basically because now they have everything to prove now because now every
Right.
position is open for the
Maybe
starting
that's what
spot.
they need. Maybe Moyes
yeah.
took him as far as he can take, and now you need a different manager.
See, I don't.
I mean,
The
like,
thing is, like, I've seen that with a lot of West. Sorry, Elijah, but I've seen that with a
no,
lot
no,
of
no,
West
you're
Ham
good.
fans. Like, they're saying, like, oh, he's taken as far as we can get, but he's literally in the short time he's been with us, he's statistically our most successful manager, like win wise. And it's like, okay, cool, but it's not like it's so weird. It's like, how is this all falling apart in one season? Like
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't
I
make
think like
any
also
sense.
Diego makes a good point where I think like I'm not a West Ham fan. I'm not going to put my reason. I'm not going to say what I think is wrong. Or, like what exactly is wrong because I don't know. Yeah, Andres knows more than me. But I think the consideration, which I know the board is, but the consideration that David Moyes isn't the manager right they need right now should be a thought because despite him being the best manager you've had in a while, right, doesn't negate the fact that he has taken you as far as he can. Like, and David Moyes is a really good manager, right? But he's not that successful in winning things overall. And I feel like West Ham kind of need that. For the team you want to be, you kind of need that manager to push you a little farther. And like I said, David Moyes is a great manager, but like, what's his record? He hasn't in his time at West Ham, he has never won against a Big Six team away. Like, like I don't know, like things like that. You need to have a manager who's able to do things like that and be more consistent. But like I said, I'm not gonna say that's the
I mean,
reason because
the
who knows.
board has his backing. Apparently, the board has his backing. So
And yeah, maybe the other thing too, as I was saying, is like because of the whole veteran thing, maybe you do need a revamp of the team. Like a general revamp of the key parts of the team. With Declan Rice leaving, this is your time to do it because you're gonna have all that money. You bring in a bunch of promising players. I mean, even going down to the championship, like,
okay.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. But I am saying that if it does happen, West Ham should look at it at a positive light because then you have time to rebuild without the fear of getting relegated. You can sell Declan Rice, you can sell these players, you can get promising younger players to play alongside Skamaka and all like these younger players and revamp the team a little bit, give them a little new younger profile that you can develop, maybe bring in a manager with it, so they all move together and you come back to the Premier League and you're good and you're maybe bigger force. I know, like there's different ways you can look at it. Like I said,
That's
if
like
you,
the
I'm not
worst
saying,
possible scenario, getting
of course,
relegated.
but
And
that's what I mean is that in the worst possible, you couldn't look at it positively in some way in that way. I don't know how West Ham would handle it, but like you look at Burnley, like Burnley went down, got Vince Company, they're doing pretty solid. He's doing pretty good with the young talent and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. You never know what's gonna happen. You can't really make determinations until the end of the year. For sure.
yeah, I think at the moment it looks like it's a relegation battle for us again. I mean, nothing new, but I genuinely think we can turn it around. We just need the thing. No, in terms of getting out of relegation, I'm not saying now we're gonna finish top six.
Yeah.
I'm saying like in terms of getting out of this relegation battle, I think we can, especially with the fixtures we have right now. All important fixtures. Play Leeds, Wolves up in the coming weeks.
That's
and
true.
So
But I talked to Diego about this in the last episode about West Ham. the games afterward, you guys are a rough run afterwards because I'll
Yeah, I
just name
know.
it off.
Tottenham, Chelsea.
It's Leeds,
Afterwards.
Brentford, Wolves, Everton. Then it's after that. Immediately after that, it's Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, Villa, City.
I see 3 hard games out of those ones.
I see all those games being hard for West Ham.
I see Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham, and then
City.
Brighton.
Oh shit, and Brighton. That's fine.
I'm putting Leeds as a tough one too.
I think today's gonna be rough. I think today's gonna be rough, but I think we'll pull one through. I think if we get momentum now, I think we'll be a tough team to beat. And
dude, that's the thing, though, is like it's so hard for us to get momentum right now because you guys will win, and I mean I even see it like just with you, Andres. Like you guys would get a win, and everyone gets so excited, and then boom, 3 losses. Like it's just so hard for West Ham to stay consistent. Like, no offense, like I'm not trying to talk shit.
No. Yeah, I know. It's just we're so inconsistent,
just how it is.
And it's very frustrating. But I think right now, if we get momentum if we get 3 wins back to back, I think the players and fans will be more confident going into that stretch, thinking we can at least get 10, 12 points from that from that run of games at least.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah.
Like, I think we can
hard.
tie Chelsea. I think we can tie Tottenham. We did tie Tottenham, I think, and we should have tied Chelsea, but we won't talk about that. But so I think we can tie those. City, I think we're probably gonna lose. I mean, but that's fine. And then Brighton's
I
up
think
for
Brighton
grabs.
gets smacked.
Okay, well, once again, if we have the momentum starting today, I think
momentum is not everything.
Momentum for us, it is at the moment.
Momentum carries you a lot, but I don't think West Ham are in the place to have momentum be the only factor carrying you far. Like West Ham have no offense, like West Ham, there are so many more different problems that West Ham need to battle for the momentum to carry them far enough.
I think we need to get Scamacca scoring some goals, and we'll be okay. Because his confidence isn't great at the moment, and he hasn't scored goals. But my man is very talented. So any player, I see a lot of West Ham fans saying, waste of money. Lucas Paqueta, waste of money. He has been playing dog shit, I must say. He has
to
been
me,
playing...
he's not going to pan out as a waste of money. I love Lucas Paqueta.
No, I think he's class. I think he's just not playing well. He's not being able to make those passes where you're like, my guy, he's wide open. How are you missing him? It's like one of those.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating because they're like, oh, dude, West Ham fans on Twitter are so annoying because they'll go like, oh, play Lucas Paqueta next to Declan Rice in a midfield too, like they do at Brazil. My guy, we are not Brazil. We do not have that skill level so he can play in that 2 central role. We don't have Casemiro covering his ass, all right? We don't have that. Yes, he's good. Like against Brentford, yes, we were the attacking team. Yes, we probably deserved more than a 2-0 loss. But, I don't know. It's very frustrating at the moment to see because I know we have the talent. It's just not clicking. So I was hoping it would, already be clicking now, but it's not.
I mean, that's the thing is like this January transfer window is going to be huge for them. I don't see any links of them with talent.
Oh no, we're not going to sign anyone apparently.
Okay, so I think then January is going to be huge for West Ham to get their stride going because a bunch of these other teams are going to be implementing these new signings into their teams, right? So the team might not be a team, right? Like that's going to be a focus for them. West Ham just need to focus on winning.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about transfer talk, I know Diego has words about this, and I do too.
Let's talk about she got released by the way.
Let's talk about the potential of Enzo to Chelsea. For I think it's 127 as the reported flat fee. And I'll say my spiel, Diego. I know you have your spiel, and I think we're going to have a lot more similarities than you think we are. I think we're overpaying. His release clause is 100 million, by the way. Chelsea's paying 25, 27 over because they really want him that much. So my 2 things.
That means he's not convinced by them because they could buy him, but then
Enzo is. It's Rui Costa at Benfica.
He doesn't want to buy the release clause. That doesn't make sense. That's the release clause.
Just because they, I think for competition with other teams. I think because Chelsea just want him that much, like they don't want to have to deal with.
It's easier. It's easier to just overbid than
to get
just
it done.
buy
Yeah,
it, sell at retail price,
and
basically.
even with 27 mil over, Rui Costa hasn't said yes yet to Enzo leaving, which he's the final thing. But I'll give my three things. 127 is too much. 100 million is too much. 70, 80 is okay. It's gonna be way too much because Enzo is never ever gonna live up to that price tag. We see it with Darwin Nunez, who went over for what? It was 80 million, right?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, if Darwin goes to Liverpool for 30 for Cody Gakpo's fee, Darwin Nunez is not gonna have the amount of pressure and the amount of difficulties he's been having. It's for Enzo to go over to Chelsea at 127 million. And if you're paying this much, you're starting him. If you're paying this much, he has to be starting. So for him to be starting in the Premier League right away after playing in the Portuguese league, which is a great league, by the way, prepares you well, he's never going to live up to that 127. 2, Chelsea don't need him. We don't need Enzo Fernandez. We need a Declan Rice more than we need Enzo Fernandez, because our midfield is still really good, and I understand Todd Bowley and Chelsea. We've seen already. They're investing in youth, which is great. I love that. That's exactly what I like to see in a team, is they're investing for the future, which we have been a lot. And Enzo is going to be a key part of that. But we don't need him. We still have Kovacic. We have Jorginho. And N'Golo Kante is out, but he's still class on his day. Conor Gallagher, we need to be implementing him more.
That's actually a good shout. Gallagher?
Yeah, Conor Gallagher has the talent. And he's not. If you're not playing him this year, send him on loan. Granted, I'm going to give Graham Potter a little benefit of the doubt because he just came to this team. He's still trying to figure out what his play style. Because honestly, you look at Chelsea, we don't even have a play style. We just play. We're just there. We just play and we just hope we score. But back to Enzo, we don't need Enzo Fernandez. That money should be put elsewhere. And I think it's just Todd Bowling wanting to splash the cash on a big World Cup talent. And 3, what was my third point?
That's going to be really sad if he doesn't adjust.
Yeah, which I wouldn't be surprised. I think, and 3, I think Enzo shouldn't go to the Premier League at all. I don't think the Premier League is good. I saw another video I was watching. The team that Enzo needs to go to, he won't go to, but the team that Enzo needs to go to is Atletico Madrid. Because Diego Simeone will turn him into a defensive beast at center mid, and I think his skill set and talent set suits La Liga more than it does Premier League, and then he can move to the Premier League when he's a more solidified talent. That's my spiel for Enzo. So, Dave, give me yours.
I think your last point is interesting. I hadn't really thought about where he should go. I kind of see what you're saying. I think Simeone's one of those guys. If you click with it, he will make you a better defensive player, 100%.
Yeah, like we just said with Kieran Trippier.
Exactly. But if you don't, which is a possibility because he's such a very, very outspoken guy, you will not play a lot and you will have to move on from Atletico Madrid very quickly. So, but I think if he clicks well, I could see him doing well there. So I think that's an interesting point you gave there. But
yeah, Atletico to me is where defensive players go to flourish and attacking players go to die. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be willing to fit into his plans. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah, which takes a very few amount of players in the world that can do that. Exactly.
But when he had the right players, he was doing bits with Atletico. I mean, 2 Champions League finals. Unfortunately, both lost to Real Madrid, but it is what it is. So I do think the price is beyond ridiculous.
Declan Rice 200 million? Question mark. Based on this
200 million
inflation,
I would much. He's overinflated only because of the World Cup. If Argentina, we can talk about this too with a bunch of the Argentina players, Kevin McAllister being one of them. If he doesn't come home with the winner's medal, he's 30 million less at least. If Enzo doesn't get playing, if Lo Celso plays, Enzo is not worth this much. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
That's just not happening.
But I understand it. You get the price you profit off the hype. It's business.
That's business.
No, you can't. And they know Chelsea's one of those teams that are gonna pay because whether Chelsea fans like it or not, Todd Bowley, he's not the most experienced football guy.
No, but
business.
He's got money. He's got money.
He's got money.
He's got
And
money.
I feel
He
like
don't
he's the
care.
kind of guy that doesn't care, and he will just buy stuff that he has to buy. But the thing
Yeah.
is, I feel like this is where he's missing the part of football. And to be honest, this is just a Chelsea thing at this point. So Todd Bowley kind of fits into that. You guys have the youth. You have the youth. You've
Yeah.
had it for 10, 15 years now. And if you just had the patience to bring them into the team, Levi Colwell is a left-footed center back, and instead you go and buy that guy from Monaco for 40 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nothing wrong with him, but you have a guy who can start and will want to start and who's doing excellent. I mean, he's not starting at Brighton, but he's played well at Brighton. And give him
Right.
time. He has a talent. Like you said, Conor Gallagher as well.
Yeah.
I just, if Chelsea were just more patient, you have so many good academy players in your team.
See, the thing is with Chelsea this year is that I completely agree with you, 100% agree with you. The thing about this year is that Graham Potter's actually doing really good for that. Like he's been implementing a bunch of the young players into training. He's brought them on games like I forget Chukwuemeze. Like he's been playing him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys bought him for like 30 million anyway.
Yeah, I mean we bought him but that's what I mean. Like he's still like a young player. Even though he hasn't come to Chelsea, he's still a young player, and he's been doing good. Like Graham Potter is implementing these players, which is great, alongside buying young players, which I like. But you're right, we have so much more we can do. The left back, I forget his name. He's playing at Burnley right now. God, I forget his name. I love him. Ian Maatsen.
Oh,
He's destroying the championship right now. I don't know if you see. He has like 8 goal contributions as a left back so far,
wow. Okay.
which is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He is killing it right now. But yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. We need to just implement these players who have the talent. It's just that Chelsea have taught right now. It's in a weird place because I think if Abramovich stays, we're doing more of that. But it's Todd Bowley now wanting to flex on everyone else and saying I can spend money in it, and if they don't pan out, then who cares? You know, like
exactly. Yeah.
Which you can't hate as a Chelsea fan. You know, it's kind of like okay, cool, right? Like dope as fuck. We're like one of like 4 teams in the world that can do that, but at the same time, it's like we want the growth story of prospect who becomes a legend. You know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like
look
Mason,
at Reece James. You guys love Reece James.
Look at Reece James. He's our best player, and he's a fucking right back, which I think says more about the rest of the Chelsea team. But like that, you look at Mason Mount. Regardless of what he's done, he's like the quickest player to like 150 goal or something. The quickest player to like a certain amount of goals for Chelsea in their history. Even quicker than Finger Up. Like he's been great for us. Like things like that. Like we want those players to come up out of the academy and dominate, but they're not getting opportunities. But that's a discussion that we've had for 5, 6, 7 years now. Like this, and that's always going to be the discussion.
And
yeah,
I think also, and then I think to finally add to that point, even if Todd Bowley wants to go buy someone, you can go buy a player that's very similar to Enzo Fernandez, if not maybe better, arguably better, for a much cheaper price, a third of that price.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I agree with Andres. You need to get Declan Rice for the 80 million that they probably want. Like you get him for. It's a much better deal.
Yeah. No, even like there are. I guarantee you. I can't think. I can't think of one right now. But if I did some quick research, I could find a player that you could get for probably 40, 50, 60 million in that range. Will easily do bits for you guys and exactly what you're looking for. And it's half the price of Enzo Fernandez. Like it's just this mindset. Especially, I know we say Todd Bowley specifically is really pushing this. Like, just buy if we need a spot, just buy it. And it just annoys me because like it's such a
it's the American way of thinking.
It really is.
But I mean, but at the same time, like Abramovich did the same thing just before. So I'm not gonna put it on like Todd Bowley being American. It's just that he is the new guy in football, and he's trying to. And the other thing with it is like, I love I do this if I do this in Football Manager. I love it. I love not only but like primarily buying players to save yourself for the future, which I love Chelsea doing. Chelsea is trying, and they honestly have a good chance of hijacking Arsenal's attempt at signing that Ukrainian winger from Shakhtar. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to the Chelsea City game. The scout, I think, or the one of the heads at Shakhtar, and they're gonna talk about it. So we have a chance, and because Chelsea consider him like the perfect winger for the project. But I like the fact that you were getting young players. I think
Please
it should
hijack that
be.
bid.
I know. I want to see so bad, but I think it should be concentrated in other areas than the midfield. I think if you're gonna get young players for the midfield, they can't be worth this much. Like,
Yeah,
this is
agreed.
a lot of money for the midfield. Like, no, you need good midfielders, but we have those. And if you want a developmental player, you're not dropping 130 on them.
No.
That should just not be. That should just not be how it is.
Yeah.
I also want to say with like, this is a Chelsea topic too, and you might have heard about this and stuff, but it's like, okay, Chelsea have long had the reputation of sacking the manager, once they're not doing well. With Todd Bowley and Graham Potter, the new idea is that we want to keep Graham Potter in, even after a bad run of form, whatever, right? Which Chelsea haven't historically done. But I think the prime example of how successful of keeping the manager in, is Mikel Arteta right now at Arsenal. He's been there, what, 4 years? 4 years? Maybe 4 or 5 years?
Something like that, yeah.
And they've stuck through him, even through bad seasons, no Champions Leagues, even through, like, many a time when Arsenal fans have said, let's sack him. And he's finally reaping the rewards of it, and they're in first right now, and they're probably going to win the Premier League. I think Chelsea need to finally fucking do that. Like, it's so annoying how we haven't. Like, Thomas Tuchel should still be here. He was the manager to do that. Granted, if Russia doesn't invade Ukraine, he's still here. But like, that's beside the point. Like, it all boils down to that in the end. But like, just things like that. Like, Chelsea needs to freaking stick with one person and put their trust in one person, which I think Graham Potter is that person to do it with. It's just so annoying how we have to reset every time. But that's a discussion we've had for years again. I don't know. There's just so much we can say about it. Well, since we're on Arsenal, I mentioned Arsenal a couple times. Are they winning the league? What do you think? Are they winning the league? No.
They'll choke it.
No.
They're in the Chelsea situation where they got that gap, but they're gonna lose it.
But they have a gap of 8 points. City have a game on them, but they have a gap of 8 points.
They'll choke.
I'm pretty sure I saw something like
the workload will get to them.
No team that has been leading more than 7 points, I think, at the beginning of January, has lost.
With the caveat that we have played less games due to the World Cup.
True. Very true.
I said it in our prediction video a long time ago, back in August. I said the workload will get to them, and it's going to once everything is back up and fully running. Like, once their Europa League's back and running, once the FA Cup's up and running, their workload will get to them again, and they will choke, and they will end up somewhere down the table. Now, they won't choke massively, but they'll choke to an extent. And I think still City will win the league. That is my prediction.
I think Andres is kind of right in the way that Arsenal don't have the depth.
They don't. They're going to pull a West Ham.
Yeah, they don't have the depth that they need for this kind of remainder of the season and how quick it is. I mean, we've had games like every day. It feels like the World Cup again, but they're gonna have games individually like every 3 days. And they don't have the depth to keep up with that, especially with Gabby Jesus out right now, whereas City does.
I think it'll be big. These next run of games as well. I don't know if you've seen the next run of games, Elijah. They play us at home on Sunday.
Got it.
Then
is
that an FA Cup game?
Oh no, it's Oxford. They play Oxford in the FA Cup first, which should be a win for them. Obviously, we expect that. But then they play us. Then they play United. Then they play Everton away, which is not Everton are bad, but it's never easy to go away to Everton.
Yeah.
Then they play Brentford, who, yes, they're at home, but Brentford is Brentford. We know what they can do. Then they play City, which is going to be a huge really determining whether we can say how good their chances are of winning the title, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then it's a couple games that you maybe expect them with their title contenders to win. Basically, what I'm saying is we will see. I understand you guys' point, and I think it's completely valid. But I also. They're impressive. Okay, they're an impressive team.
Oh, they definitely are.
And I don't. like you said depth. Jesus got injured. Eddie Nketiah came in, and all of a sudden he's now balling. So I think you're
True.
underestimating the depth a little bit, and I think
Well, no,
No,
but
because
my
Nketiah
thing
misses
is,
more chances than he makes,
like,
though.
Nketiah is good, and he's been doing better than we think. But who's behind Nketiah now? What if he goes down? That's what I mean. It's like there's no depth behind that. Like Nketiah, there's no like real big player to bring on after that.
They can move Martinelli up front, and then they play Emil Smith Rowe out wide. I'm saying yes, it gets to a point where they have to start moving things, but once you get to your third striker, that's most clubs. I mean, now you're kind of getting to a point where that's most clubs. Hell, Tottenham don't have a third striker. We were doing that. We played Ivan Perisic up front. So
we don't even have one striker. So
exactly. So I'm saying yes. Obviously, the perfect combination would have 3 strikers. Yeah. But I think you guys are now being too demanding. Look, I understand. I do think you have a valid point, and I think we'll see that in these upcoming run of games and how they're going to handle it. And what if they lose a game in a bad fashion, which could happen? Do they lose momentum? Does that hurt their kind of hope? And maybe we start seeing them play worse. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of questions left. We still have a lot of season left. But at the end of the day, after 16 games, and yes, they haven't played City, and that's really going to be really good. It's a really good game to catch. But at the end of the day, they're still quite ahead. And yes, I think City play Chelsea, so that's not even guaranteed 3 points. So they still could be 8 points by the time City plays their game.
Yeah, but, for me, like I'm not with Andres on it. I think Arsenal are going to win the league. But I think I'm more so. I feel like I'm in the middle of you two. Like I think we could very well see that what Andres is saying, but I think it's more likely that they are going to pull through and win the league. That's my.
I agree with you. I
hate Arsenal, so you know me. I'll be biased.
No, I do too.
But we all do. We all do. But
we all hate Arsenal.
You got to be fair. Like at the end of the day,
Prime though. Sponsor
if they do end up winning, then at that point, like I'm gonna be like, you know what, props to them. Like, because they would have played a really good year.
I'll still say they're shit.
I mean, you can, and then we can. And
I will. I can, and I will.
Like, sorry, like I was saying, like you have to give the props to Arsenal in some way for what they're doing. Like, even though we all hate them, as a neutral footballing fan, you have to give them props. Like I would give props to any team in this situation. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how they do it, unless like there's cheating or something, right? You can have to give them props, and I think Arsenal are going to be there. And I think with additions, they could be there again next year, like at that top. Very likely. And I think this is kind of backtracking from Arsenal, but I think the title race for the next few years is going to be a set one, and it's going to be it's not going to be as much City are going to run away with it. Let's see who's going to get second, third, fourth. I think it's going to be there could be 4 or 5 different teams that could win if everything goes their way. And I think that consists of Arsenal, that consists of City. Newcastle could be up there after this summer. Who knows who they sign? They could sign huge players. I'd put Tottenham up there if
we keep Conte, yes.
If the board and Conte work together better, and Conte gets to do what he wants to do.
That's something to talk about.
We could talk about that too, but like Tottenham could be up there. Any of these teams, I mean, Liverpool could be up there. Chelsea could be up there. United could be up there. United are doing actually really well this year. Like, let's be honest. We did not give United.
By the way, they get to third. They go above Newcastle.
Yeah, like I didn't put United in top 4. I didn't think they were touching top 4.
It's crazy what happens when you get rid of distractions.
Well, there we go. I mean, it's true. And like just any of these teams could be like phenomenal in the next coming years. So, yeah.
Also, Rashford, my God, dude, needs to take a chill pill for a second.
Rashford has been excellent.
Fucking hell, jeez. Yeah. I'm happy for him though. I actually like Rashford. Everything he's done outside of football.
You
can't hate that man. You can't hate him. He brought that World Cup form to the Prem, and I'm happy for him. I'm glad
he did, and he deserves it, right?
Just not against West Ham.
Casemiro said, I think a few days ago, he thinks like Rashford could be one of the best in the world, like top 5 player in the world.
I mean,
if he really wanted to.
When he was coming out, people thought he was going to be.
No, and he hasn't necessarily like discredited those. Like he's been phenomenal. He's been one of United's best players for a while. The player that did is Martial, but yeah, like I mean, it's back to it. Like any one of these teams could be top of the league this time next year. Who knows?
West Ham. I know.
West Ham could be top of the championship. I mean, we could say that too.
Okay. You know, at least we'll win something. I'll be happy.
There
with
you go.
that.
There's a trophy.
I'll be happy with that.
I think let's end it off then. Let's talk about Tottenham a little bit. We've talked about every single team, every one of our teams. I think it's only fair to talk about Tottenham now. Diego knows best.
Sorry,
Diego.
Sorry.
What are we saying, Diego? What's
what's the vibe over there? What's the vibe
you want Conte in? You want Conte in for a long time. Give us your thoughts. Give us what you're thinking about.
I think I've said this like when we were talking about them at the beginning of the season. This happened with Poch when we were a monster under Poch, and he needed just 2-3 top signings to really just get that Premier League title finally. And Daniel Levy and his Enoch board have said, no, you're not going to get anything. You're going to get jack shit. Here you go. Remember when we didn't sign a player during the transfer window? I remember that. That was painful. And I can relate. We really needed to. And we had Champions League. We had the money.
Yeah. You got to a final.
We got to a final. That was just Poch's magic, to be honest. That was just Poch's magic. But my point is, this team has some really good players in it. Dejan Kulusevski is one of the best youngsters in the world. He has an insane.
We need to talk about him, by the way. He is great. No one really talks about him that much except Tottenham.
That's because we're shit.
Great.
But as soon as we turn it
reason to talk about him. But...
Yeah, exactly. But as soon as we start doing well, he's the main reason why. I guarantee you, he will if he stays with us for maybe 5 years, he's ending one of the seasons with the highest assists in the league. He has an eye for a ball that's just so good. Okay, but that's off topic. Basically, Conte needs his reinforcements. He needs those players. Eric Dyer's not good enough. He's not good enough. Ben Davies, I love Ben Davies. He's actually been a great servant to the club. He could be a great rotation, but he's not a good enough starter. Lloris is. This is about the thing about Lloris too. He played in a phenomenal World Cup. First game back for us, he has a howler, and is the reason we can see that first goal. I don't understand. I don't understand what happened. He was playing absolutely phenomenal. The first goal against what's their name? Villa.
Oh, is it where it was bounced? That's tough to take. That one's a tough one to deal with, to be fair.
But with his experience, you don't
professional, you expect better, but that's a tough one to take because it's bouncing before it gets to you. It's hard to judge.
Yeah, Conte has this mentality, right, where he's like, I need what I want these guys. Give me them, or we're gonna have a problem. And Daniel Levy knew this coming into this. He was like, "Yeah, we're going to try to give you the best we can. Just know we don't do as well. We don't spend as much as your previous clubs do." And he's like, "Okay, I think they came to a compromise there. They're like, okay, as long as you try your best, then I'm okay with that." With that being said, we're still not enough. And we apparently only have 40 million to spend this January. Conte needs to somehow find the patience here. Otherwise, we're gonna see a short term.
I wanna bring up something.
He's got the patience based on that interview.
He's not a very patient man, so I'm hoping he can. But
it's very rocky.
It's a bit toxic.
One thing
I'm not gonna.
I want to bring up for Tottenham, Diego.
Yeah.
You can agree with me. You might not.
Okay.
Was Richarlison the right buy?
Yes.
Absolutely. You think so? Because I'm not giving a thought label at all.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I don't want to do anything like that yet because he still has a lot of time. He hasn't maybe been given the opportunity to. But so the player that a lot of people talking about is Darwin Nunez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Overrated.
I think he's 13, 14 games. He has 6-7 goals and 2 assists, right? Not a bad return at all. Despite what he's not doing, he's doing something really well. Richarlison has 10 appearances for Tottenham, and he doesn't have a goal yet, and he has 2 assists.
Yeah.
Should there be a bigger discussion surrounding Richarlison for being? Richarlison was 2 million less than Darwin Nunez, by the way. 2 million less. Should there be discussion of Richarlison maybe
20 million?
Chris Winter's like 2.5 million. Like
Richarlison was 50, and then Joseph Darwin was like 70.
Oh,
Or 80.
let's see. Richarlison.
I'm pretty sure Richarlison was like 50 million. I remember.
Put him in the
seeing that.
office.
That's a fee. Okay, yeah, he was 60. So right, 20. But still, 60 million's a lot, especially for Tottenham. If you only have 40 million to spend. But should the discussion start to be open regarding Richarlison's lack of output?
I would say, okay. He was the top goal scorer for Brazil in the World Cup, and I'm not going to just use the World Cup by itself, but I'm saying we saw what he can do. He was the top goal scorer for Everton when he helped them fight off relegation. He was their relegation savior, and he's gone when he was fit. He's been injured, by the way, so that's why he hasn't played in the last 5 games. So, and I want to say out of those 10 appearances, maybe 3 or 4 of them were subs. So just to also give a little bit of context. He has been very bright, and he hit the post like 3 times already, 2 or 3 times. So he was very close to scoring in multiple times.
Yeah,
I feel that.
And the main reason he was 50 million that we spent 50 million on him is because of his flexibility. We wanted a backup striker, but at the same time, because we knew Kane would still play a lot, even when Richarlison was fit, we wanted him to play on the wings. Richarlison can do that. He's a striker for Brazil, but he played left winger for Everton. So, in my opinion, yes, I agree his goal contributions could be better for us, but I actually think we will see them go up. As soon as he comes back fit, I guarantee you, first 2 games back, he scores in one of those 2 games.
Clip that. Clip it.
Clip it right now.
Clip
right
it.
now.
So my which I agree with you. Like I'm not in disagreeing with anything you're saying. I
understand the transfer fee's high. I agree with you there.
Yeah, well, like that's what like okay. So like I'll say issue with it, for lack of a better term. Issue with it is okay. You want a backup striker. I think Tottenham's mentality in buying him was that Harry Kane's going to get hurt. That's why Richarlison, right? At some point, Richarlison's going to come in, step in, give the same contributions. 60 million's a lot for a backup striker. That's a given. Any team, even Chelsea, that's a given. But and 2, if you want a winger, why not just buy a truer winger? Like why not buy a guy who plays internationally as a winger instead of because
he doesn't play striker. Because
but like you said, even for Brazil, like you're right, he doesn't play striker for Everton. Mostly, and I know he did, but like not mostly.
He can, but he was
But that's what I mean, though. Is like why not get a truer winger? Like if he's good at striker, he's great at striker. We saw that in the World Cup, but why not get a person who is 100% a winger, proven in the winger, not just a half and half or a 75-25 kind of player? If that's what you really need, you know, which
Yes, no, I agree with you. That's the thing. We wanted a striker over a winger because we needed a striker more than a winger. And here's the problem. Every backup striker we've bought has been not great. We had Fernando Llorente, which don't get me wrong, he got us that Champions League goal against Man City, who will forever be a legend. But he is not the guy you want to rely on if Harry Kane gets injured for a month. He's not a guy you want to play for 4 games in a row.
Who's that guy you bought like a couple years ago from Benfica?
Vincent Janssen.
No, not Vincent Janssen.
Vincent Janssen?
No. Younger guy.
Carlos.
Yes.
He was PSV asked for 30 million for him.
Thank you.
Which was ridiculous. Sorry. Which was ridiculous. So these players, and because he was okay. He was okay. He wasn't amazing, but he was okay. Now here's the thing. We wanted somebody that could come, because the thing is, Kane's been lucky. He hasn't gotten injured this season, but he has ankle injuries, and he can be out for a month and a half. We wanted someone who's good enough to play at that striker position without sacrificing Son from out left and now Kulusevski from the right or anything. Do we need a true striker? Absolutely, we do need it. I mean, not true striker, a true winger. We absolutely do need a true winger, but our priority was striker. And we were like, wait, he can also play winger when Kane is fit, so we can play him as well because how much money we're spending on him. We're going to do it. So do I think it's still going to pan out well? Yes. As of right now, though, I understand why people will look at it and be like, where is the worth the money? Where is he worth the money? But I guarantee, like I said right now, give him a run of games, he will score. First 2 games back, one of those games he's going to score.
So I feel like also like in favor of, I'm in harsh on Richarlison right now, but in favor of him, he has gotten unlucky in the way that Harry Kane is balling. He's playing his mind out right now. And,
this is one of the best seasons.
Unfortunately for Richarlison, like that sucks for him, right? Because, let's say if Harry Kane isn't doing that, Richarlison's definitely getting more opportunities. But like you just said it, I would like to see more goal output from him.
I agree. And I think
it's hard not to. Yeah, exactly. And I'm not like I said, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket for him being a flop. There's other players that deserve it more than him. I'm not gonna go into that right now, but there's other players that deserve more than him. But he's not. Yeah, he went to that was a flop.
See, I would say he's a flop, but the thing is, if I do, then he'll score like 3 goals against West Ham. So I'm just gonna say nothing.
Also, like, what do we determine a flop as well?
I don't think he's a flop. I just think
he's
flop
is the most loosely used term in the world right now. Like anyone can be labeled a flop for
anyone who's a flop. Anyone who's an American football fan, Jamarcus Russell is the definition of a flop, okay?
How did this become with American football?
The worst. No, I'm just saying, like, an example of a flop is that. Also, like, any West Ham striker that's been signed in the past 3 years, that's a flop.
That's very true. Very true. Yeah. All right. Well, we're over an hour now. So
it's almost game time.
It's almost game time. West Ham are... Can you even be excited anymore, Andres?
Yes, I'm always excited for game day.
All right. I'm waiting.
We have a strong lineup out. I'm excited.
I'm waiting for the Instagram post. I'll watch it too. We could do reaction after it too if you want.
I'm sort of busy, but we can talk about that after. But yeah. Anyways,
episode 13. We're done. Another full episode. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah, it was nice going back to our roots.
Nice.
Yeah. Different.
Yeah.
I've done that in a while.
Well, if you're still at this point and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't already liked the video, like the video. If you're my grandma, hi grandma, you might be the only one here at this point.
Grandma.
Yeah. So if you like this, like I said, please subscribe. We'll have more stuff out. All the above, all things Premier League mostly, and anything else that kind of is alright that I really need to bring up. We hope to see you guys at the next episode, next video. All that, and we hope you guys are enjoying this Premier League schedule, this Premier League games. We hope you're not a West Ham fan, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.